Battle of the Badges, a basketball tournament, tips off tonight, honoring 2 local law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty. Why their families say this event means so much.
A warmer weekend is on the way. How long the rising temperatures will be with us and the next time we could see showers.
Evidence shows Rocky Mount officials were warned about the town's financial crisis more than 2 years ago. Tonight, we're finding out exactly what they knew. Thank you for joining us here on this Friday here at 7 o'clock. I'm Dan Haggerty. Tonight, there is an event bringing together police and firefighters, honoring these 2 men, Deputy Ned Bird and Officer Gabriel Torres, 2 names that I'm sure you know well from our newscasts. 2 of our area's law enforcement officers who were killed in the line of duty. Their families are among those in the crowd tonight for this basketball game in their honor. WRAL's Willie Danley is there. Willie, this is about acknowledging these men, their sacrifice, and their families.
Yes, Dan, any second this game will be kicking off. Right behind me in this gymnasium, the RDU Ballers, which are the returning champions in the U.S. Army Fort Bragg team, will be taking the court. Event organizers tell me that this tournament is to honor the lives of fallen officers and public servants. The Battle of the Badges tournament started in the year 2000 following the death of a Maryland state trooper that died in the line of duty. This year's tournament will honor the lives of Wake County Sheriff Deputy Ned Bird, who was shot in 2022, and Raleigh police officer Gabriel Torres, who was one of 5 people that was killed in the Hedingham mass shooting in 2022. Just a couple of moments ago, I spoke to one of the brains behind this operation, who told me how much this event means to the families of those fallen officers.
To see that they're not alone, for one, to see that the service of their loved one does not go unwavered, and that we appreciate, their loss, and for them allowing us to honor them. That's an honor to us. And we want to know that, hey, we're here for you, and we're going to take you in as we do everyone else and help you whatever way we can.
Now, this is just day 1 of this 3-day tournament. It ends on Sunday with the championship game. Tune into WRAL News to learn more information and how you can get involved. Willie Danley, WRAL News, Raleigh.
All right, Willie, this is Brian Schrader in the WRAL Live Center. And all new tonight at 7 o'clock, a carbon monoxide poisoning scare in Raleigh sends at least 2 people to the hospital. This is video from Banbury Road in Raleigh this afternoon from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. The homeowner here says he had some people doing some power washing in the basement, and that power washer was gas powered. He says that the carbon monoxide alarm went off. His son went downstairs and saw a man lying in the floor there. An ambulance took that man to the hospital, and his sister was working with him. She also went to the hospital by ambulance. No word on their conditions. The homeowner says that his son also went to the hospital for evaluation, but apparently is okay. And the situation there was safe enough that the homeowners were allowed to go back inside.
It's so important to have those carbon monoxide alarms and detectors, potentially saving a life. Thank you to Brian there. So, Mike, we're going to need our jackets this weekend. We got a nice, cool weekend coming.
Yeah, only in the mornings, Dan. Later in the afternoon, we'll be up near 80 degrees both Saturday and Sunday. Great for festivals this weekend. Here's Raleigh Wide Open Music Festival in downtown Raleigh. City Plaza stage. A lot of folks out there. Temperatures are cooling down. Take a look at the numbers. We have 68 in Raleigh right now, 70 in Fayetteville, 67 in Southern Pines. Tonight will be another cool one with temperatures in the 40s and 50s. Not quite as cold as this morning, but you will need the jackets in the morning. Take a look at our southern neighbors. 56 in Fayetteville, 48 at Sanford, but you can ditch those jackets later on during the afternoon. Mostly sunny skies for your Saturday. We have college football games tomorrow. Tailgating in the morning will be a little cool. 79 in the afternoon. Sunday, partly cloudy skies with a high at 80 degrees. Coming up in just a few minutes, Dan, we have the next rainmaker on the way. I'll show you when we can expect it.
Sounds good. Thank you, Mike. It was a big, busy Friday. We want to roll you through some of the headlines. These are the 5 things you should know right now. A Raleigh police officer is accused of looking the other way in a crash investigation in exchange for sexual favors. Tremal Cogdell has been fired now. He also faces 3 charges. RPD says the crash happened about 3 weeks ago. They say Cogdell drove one of those victims back to their house where the sex act occurred. Cogdell has been with RPD since 2022, involved in nearly 60 different cases. He's expected in court on Monday. An 8-year-old girl in Lillington is in the hospital tonight after a dog attack. Deputies telling us several children were playing outside on Bison Lane when a dog came by and attacked the little girl. A neighbor heard the commotion, came outside, and one of those neighbors shot and killed the dog. The little girl is now needing surgery, we hear. One of the people wounded in the mass shooting in Southport is now out of the hospital. Today, investigators shared the names of the people wounded in that shooting. That full list is at WRAL.com. Tomorrow, a vigil will be held there at Southport, honoring the 3 people who were killed. It's at 2:30 p.m. at the Southport waterfront. Today, Governor Josh Stein signed Arena's Law, a crime bill crafted in response to the fatal stabbing on a train in Charlotte. The move does several things, including tightening restrictions on cash bail and requiring the governor to find ways to restart the death penalty in our state. We've got a full breakdown of that new law in the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com. Duke Health and Aetna have reached a deal. People will not risk losing their doctor. This is a big relief for so many folks. The long negotiation process resulted in a multi-year agreement, and it includes a 1.5 million people on Aetna in North Carolina. A lot of folks here were interested in that one for big reasons. Rocky Mount has some serious money problems. The city overspent for years, and now they need to find $30 million in just 10 months. And to fill that gap, the city proposes passing the burden onto the people in the form of higher utility bills and layoffs at the police and fire departments. Now, documents from the state show the problems should not have been a surprise. Tonight, WRAL's Heidi Kirk is asking how much city leaders knew and for how long, and why they weren't able to fix it all sooner.
At a city meeting last night, we heard from dozens of people who live here who feel like they've been left in the dark when it comes to the city's finances. And now the city's cutting jobs, increasing fees for electric and natural gas, and pausing projects. And now the people who live here have questions for city officials about how exactly we got here. A city of more than 50,000 people, now trying to make up millions of dollars. Elected officials have said for more than a week the news of a crisis this bad is new to them. But documents obtained by WRAL show some did know, even signing documents to the state that acknowledged financial issues. Since 2022, the state treasurer's office has sent Rocky Mount officials warnings about the city's finances. In the documents, the state said the city's net operating income for 2022 had a negative balance of almost $300,000. In 2023 and 2024, that got worse. These documents show they even drew from their savings fund to help balance the budget. You sign off on that budget every single year. Mm-hmm. A lot of people feel like you have let them down as an elected official. What do you say to that?
We went with what we thought was facts. We voted on we asked the questions. This was here, asked what is this, we purchased this, how will we be financially? We was told this, told that. That's what we were told. The people that was in the finance department at the time.
Multiple council members and the mayor blame a revolving door of city managers and finance directors. But they were also made aware of the situation, even signing off on plans to fix financial concerns raised by the state year after year, as recently as this past June. I'm assuming that's your signature.
I just don't remember that. Yeah, I don't even remember the document.
We asked the city about the state's concerns dating back to 2022, to which they responded with this statement, saying, quote, delays by city staff in providing financial information to council members meant discussions and remedies did not occur in a timely manner. But they went on to say they're working to solve those problems outlined. Both council members agree there were things they would have done differently. And now it's time to look ahead. Do you take a level of responsibility here?
Absolutely, I do. And I think us as a council take it as a whole. So we're here. So you got to come up with a plan to try to get us out of here. And I think that's what we're going.
Now, those documents we obtained do not explain where those millions of dollars went in the town's saving fund. We did reach out to the mayor for an interview today. He said that he's waiting on the state's audit that should uncover some of those things to comment. Heidi Kirk, WRAL News in Rocky Mount.
And we should say this comes at a crucial time for some of those council members. It's worth noting that several of the City of Rocky Mount's elected officials are up for re-election this year. The mayor isn't on the ballot, but 4 of the 6 city council members are running to keep their seats. And tomorrow is the last day of early voting. That ends at 3 p.m. After that, it is Election Day on November 4th.
Back here in the WRAL Live Center, I've just confirmed from the National Park Service that a 9th house has collapsed at the Outer Banks. This one on Kohler Court in Rodanthe, an unoccupied house that collapsed just before 6 p.m. No injuries reported. We also just got some new video of what it looks like on the beach at Rodanthe. Take a look at all of that debris. Down at Buxton today, National Park Service employees were working trying to clear some of that debris. We've got king tides in the forecast for next week, and officials are worried that more homes are at the risk of collapsing as we head into next week.
I would say it's unbelievable, but it's not. And again, it's the 9th home in the past week. We've seen 20 homes or more fall into the water there in the past 5 years. Brian, thank you. There is a study out of UNC looking at postpartum depression. It found 25% of participants reported suicidal thoughts. Think about that. 1 in 4. Thankfully, the study also found some ways to treat this, and the results so far are impressive and encouraging. Ashley Rowe is here after the break, asking UNC's researchers what all parents can learn from their study.
UNC recently released a study that resonated with me. It's all about helping people through their postpartum depression. You know, I recently had my second baby, and there are so many nights when at 2 a.m. I'm sitting there with my baby and thinking about all the other parents who are also in the trenches going through those tough nights and long days. A certain stat from this study really struck me. It says nearly 25% of participants reported suicidal thoughts leading up to or after giving birth. A quarter of participants. Fortunately, this study also developed a treatment that seems to have worked to overcome those thoughts, not with medication, but with changes in behavior. I recently spoke with the lead researcher. Dr. Crystal Schiller, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
This study followed more than 1,100 pregnant and postpartum patients. Walk us through what kind of therapy they got as part of this research.
Yeah, all of the participants received behavioral activation therapy, which is a short-term therapy, a talk therapy. It's 8 sessions long and focuses on specific problems that people may be experiencing. It focuses on specific behaviors or things that may be contributing to feelings of depression or anxiety in a person's life. And it goes after those behaviors pretty directly by helping people make small behavioral changes that really improve their moods.
What would you say were the key findings here?
Yeah, for the first time, we were able to show that behavioral activation and psychotherapy rapidly reduces thoughts of suicide in pregnant and postpartum people. So we showed an 80% reduction in suicidal thoughts with this treatment, and each therapy session reduced those suicidal thoughts. So every time a person engages with therapy, it helps.
You know, it really was striking to see from your research that nearly 25% of participants reported suicidal thoughts at some point during treatment. So this is impacting quite a lot of people. Talk about what you hope will come from this research.
Yeah, I hope that this will help us to reach more people with treatments that work. There are lots and lots of different people trying to market things to people during and after pregnancy with really limited evidence base. And here we've shown we have a good treatment that works for postpartum depression and anxiety. It can be delivered by physicians, psychologists, social workers, but also lay providers. In our study, we had nurses and doulas who were supervised by psychologists like me doing the study and providing treatment, and it worked just as well.
So let's end on this. If someone who is at home watching, they are experiencing these kinds of feelings, maybe they've got a new baby at home or they're about to have a baby, and they need some help, what should they do?
So the first step would be to talk to your doctor. That's, OBGYNs have all been trained to screen for postpartum depression and anxiety and to know what to do about it. So talk to your obstetrician gynecologist, talk to your family care provider. If you don't have one of those, you can call us at UNC, and we have openings to treat people with perinatal depression right now. And we do telemedicine. Many mental health providers around the state also provide telemedicine, so you don't even have to be in Chapel Hill to get treatment from us.
Dr. Schiller, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for your research.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Ashley. Mike May's joining me now. Mike, what a beautiful end of the week.
Yeah, 75 the high today, 77 tomorrow. And if you're a fan of warmer weather, you're going to have that tomorrow and Sunday and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week before the next front comes in and brings us back another fall feel. I think it's going to be a gorgeous weekend. It's nice out there right now. The sun just set at 6:55, 68 out at RDU, the dew point 57. And looking around the triangle, we're already cooling down. 67 Wake Forest, 66 at Durham, 65 at Chapel Hill, 67 at Holly Springs. Going to be cool on the bleachers this evening, or if you're heading out for a dog walk, or if you're just getting out, getting your steps in, maybe getting a late bite. 9 o'clock, 62 by 10 o'clock, 60 by 11 o'clock, 58 by daybreak. We'll be back down in the 40s and 50s. Now, UNC's taking on Clemson tomorrow. If you're an early tailgater, you'll need a jacket. 52 at 7 by 9 o'clock, 59 by 11 o'clock. We're up to 68. Should have a pretty bright start. And then tomorrow's kickoff is about 72 at noon. And later in the afternoon, NC State taking on Campbell. Kickoff at 2 o'clock, 77 at that point. Perfect football weather. Just make sure you have a sunscreen or a wide-brimmed hat so you don't get sunburned too much. High pressure's in control for the weather over the weekend. There are these little itty-bitty showers, though, down east toward the coast. Some may skirt Fort Fisher, Curry Beach, maybe Holden Beach and Sunset Beach. And then you have a little disturbance over there in the Bahamas that has about a 10% chance of developing. I don't think that will end up being an issue. This could be. The system just came off the African coast. You see that orange X right there as it travels to the west. In this zone over the next 7 days has about a 50% chance of developing. The European ensemble probabilities have this becoming a tropical depression. The next name on the list, if it becomes a tropical storm, is Jerry. Now, our next weather maker comes Wednesday of next week in the form of a cold front. Showers and thunderstorms are expected as of right now. In fact, some could develop as early as Tuesday, lasting into Tuesday night, Wednesday, and Wednesday night. The greatest probability right now is 50% chance on Wednesday. But as we get closer, we'll get a better idea of timing, how much rain will fall. This is kind of like a preliminary look, and then once the front passes, it will cool down. 46 at Roxborough, 52 at Rocky Mount, 52 in Raleigh, 56 at Fayetteville. It's mostly clear to partly cloudy, and a warmer day tomorrow. Dew points stay in the 50s, so it won't feel all that bad. 82 Fayetteville, 79 Rocky Mount. You go from jackets in the morning to shorts in the afternoon. 80 on Sunday after a morning low of 56. Morning lows get a little bit warmer. After that, you have your shower and storm chances, and then by Thursday and Friday, we begin to cool back down. Our morning lows by Friday around 50, 54 next Saturday. That means high school football next Friday will feel comfortable like tonight will.
I like it. Thank you, Mike. So today marks 65 years since the very first episode of The Andy Griffith Show came out. And for 65 years, people have been whistling that opening theme song. After the break, we're going to go into the WRAL archive for an Andy Griffith whistling competition in 1987. But first, let's get you ready for that beautiful weekend Mike was talking about as you plan to go out and about. This day in 1960, the very first episode of The Andy Griffith Show hit the airways. Andy Griffith was from Mount Airy, went to UNC, huge around. The show ranked #1 in the 1960s. It ran until 1968, but it was those reruns that have just been on for decades on the air. Earlier this year, the state legislature actually proposed a bill that would make The Andy Griffith Show the official TV show of North Carolina, and it makes sense. I mean, who doesn't know that Andy Griffith theme? Well, how's it go? Look, I was proud of that whistling. I did it earlier, and people were not impressed in the newsroom, so I decided to make you listen to it. I do personally think that it wasn't too bad, but the show's anniversary got us looking at some better whistlers in the WRAL archive. So we found a story from 1987 when the people at the old North Hills Mall held an Andy Griffith whistling competition. Great to have you with us as we leave you with this Friday dose of nostalgia.
The Andy Griffith Show. Starring...
You hear it every day just before the 6 o'clock news. That friendly, down-home tune telling you it's time for the Andy Griffith Show. Oaks and Durham, Rocky Mount, Goldsboro, and Raleigh wet their whistles and let loose with their own versions of the Andy Griffith theme song.
Well, I've been a great fan of Andy Griffith show for a number of years, and I've been waiting for something like this to come along.
It's been my life ambition.
Well, today, they got their chance. Some did it with a snappy style. Others jazzed it up a bit. And there were some interesting arrangements. Others discovered that it's not so easy to whistle with a bunch of people looking at you. One thing everyone had in common, they all seemed to have fun. Of course, the $100 gift certificate for each winner made it even more fun for some.
For $100, I tiptoed through the tulips.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.